As promised, y'all, it's your boy Cam here with the late night fantasy goodies. Rick Kamla at your service. We are 22 minutes away from midnight Eastern time when it will officially be Thanksgiving. So I don't know, maybe we're your appetizer here. Fantasy NBA today, Ethos After Dark. Hopefully, we'll be joined by Steve Alexander, the Hall of Famer, as we continue on here. But if not, it's you and me like we did a week or so ago, and we all had fun and we all made it out with our lives, right? We're going to have the fantasy spin on every single game that has been played tonight. And we'll talk about maybe must-add players, and we invite your questions, okay? Because we're going to be answering them right now at the top of the show. As Golden State and OKC are still playing right now, all the other games are final, and Golden State is like just hanging on, and they're just like within striking range, but OKC has held them at arm's length, and we'll see how that goes. So before we start, quick word from our sponsor. The Thanksgiving holiday is here, so why not head to the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting, Bet Online. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, which, by the way, it's going to be a smorgasbord for you tomorrow. When you talk about the NFL games and all the other, there's a ton going on tomorrow, okay? You're going to be at home. Family's going to be there. You're going to be stuffing your face with stuffing and turkey. Go to Bet Online and put your vibes and put your hunches out there and try to make some dough, man. You got to pay for turkey, okay? Bet Online provides you with constant real-time odds and action. You have the ability to watch the games as they happen and monetize your vibes as they happen. Oh, man, this game's over. This team's not making a comeback. Boom, bet on it, okay? With the largest selection of odds on everything from the NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, a bunch of college football games on Friday, by the way. NHL, UFC, boxing, they got it all. Head to the website today to see why Bet Online is America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online. Bet Online, Bet Online. The game starts here. So, guys, we invite you to leave us questions on Discord, all right? Link in the live chat or on the YouTube live chat, and we're going to answer as many questions as possible as we move along here, okay? So let's start with some questions as we do. We've got Jonathan Arad says 12 teams, 9 cat, head-to-head, Embiid or Lowry. You guys ask the best questions, by the way. Like, you ask very, very good questions. So, like, very rarely are we like, dude, really? I think last night we might have had one of those, but for the most part, you guys are just killing it with these mind melters. Jonathan, my answer is neither. If I have to pick one of them, it's Embiid. Just because, you know, he's won an MVP. Last year, he was the MVP and would have been the MVP before he blew a tire. Like, he's one of the best. He's a top 5 player in the league when he's healthy. Lauri Markkanen's not. Lauri Markkanen is a borderline all-star at his best. All right. Remember a couple of years ago, one most improved, made the all-star team. All right. That doesn't happen every year. That was an anomaly for him. All right. He's on the all-star fringe. Best I got for you on Lauri Markkanen. So, yes, Joel Embiid is the guy that I would rather have. I want to punt them both. Not literally. I don't want to wound them with my foot. But I would pick Embiid, but sheepishly, Jonathan. All right. 27_77 says Zaire or Wilson. I'm assuming you mean the Wilson from Brooklyn. And I got to check that box because that game just went final. So let me get to that box, y'all, and I will be able to answer this question because, of course, tonight's results are pretty important because the Nets really had a new construction tonight. They had no Cam Thomas. Who else were they missing? No Claxton tonight, and they were without another dude too who is escaping me right now. But you asked me about Zaire, okay? Not a great line. And I wasn't really hot on Zaire. He was like, I think the most added player in like the Yahoo leagues I went to. And I was like, I just don't trust Zaire Williams. I'm just not really with it. I'm not. He went 10, 4, and 2. 2 steals, no threes. You know, he kind of co-signed my vibe right there. Jalen Wilson did not play. It says coach's decision, but I believe I read that he had some kind of an injury or illness or something like that. So maybe that wasn't correctly designated in the box score. But I would rather have Again, I'm not really enthralled either way here. I'm not because Jalen Wilson is a scoring. He's kind of like a poor man's Kuminga. He scores, doesn't do a whole lot else. Now, I think Jalen Wilson's I don't think I know. He's a better shooter than Jonathan Kuminga. And that's kind of Jalen Wilson's thing. He's a shooter. And he's going to give you threes and he's going to give you points. He's Malik Beasley-ish. He's Tim Hardaway Jr.-ish. He's like streamer-ish that way. So I'm not impressed. And Zaire Williams to me is a streamer as well. I mean, 10, 4, and 2 with 2 steals. That's a Thursday night. I need a body stat line. Okay. So let's move on here. I'm really not feeling either guy. If you give me the choice, you back me against the wall, I'm going to take Zaire Williams because he has more goodie potential. Match winning star says Wendell Carter, rest of season outlook. I don't think it's good. Match winning star. I don't think it's good. He could get traded to a situation where there's more solidified minutes, but 4-point game, by the way, Golden State's making a nice move here. You have Mo Wagner killing it. You have really killing it. And you have Goga Bitadze started with Wendell Carter Jr. tonight. Did Wendell Carter Jr. start tonight? So many box scores I looked at. Let me just firm that up and go to that box score. Because did he or did he not? I know they had yeah, he did. He played 18 minutes. That's why I was kind of like weird in my brain. It's always weird to me when you start a guy and he plays 18 minutes. But they went with the double big look tonight. They went with the Twin Towers look with Bitadze and Carter in the starting 5. So, guys, honestly, what that tells me is that Wendell Carter Jr. May eventually slot behind Paolo Banchero as the backup 4, and because Goga Bitadze was the starting 5 tonight. Goga Bitadze has been playing well. He has better than Wendell Carter has the last couple of years, in my personal opinion. So I think what we're noticing here is a movement. I think Goga's got that starting 5 spot for Orlando. Kind of, I'm not going to say sticky, but I'm going to put it in pencil, not pen, right? I'm going to pencil it in, okay? So I feel good about it. I just can't put it in pen yet. But I feel like Goga at the 5 is a thing. And I feel like the Wendell Carter Jr. thing is kind of over. I feel like the whole team's kind of like, not his teammates, but Jamal Mosley's probably like, kind of been there, done that. I kind of know what I got. I want to explore Goga and see, and by the way, Goga Bitadze is a terrific defensive center. Better defensively than Wendell Carter Jr. We know what Orlando hangs their hat on. Defense, okay? Orlando, by the way, is 13-7 and 9-0 at home. They're 9-0 at home. The Magic. Them's my boys, man. I love the Magic. Not like my Wolves in the old days, and I'm rocking an old school hardwood classic KG tonight. Y'all know KG is right here. KG, he is in my basketball soul. Love that man, and I love that ball player. 20, 10, and 5 every night with the steals, with the blocks. He'd bang a 3 every once in a while. Remember, he had the long 2. That's just a terrible shot right now, but that was KG's office, man. Left elbow, right elbow, the long 2, man. And he had that spinning fadeaway on the baseline, and then a bunch of dog plays as well. I love me some KG. So I'm rocking the old school KG tonight. You can't tell me nothing, all right? All right, Jeffrey Millis says, Dr. A coming in late, ? He says, show note, don't read out loud. Okay, so I won't read out loud. All right, and so if I don't read out loud, then I'm on the air here, so I can't read it at all. Moving on. Oronks, how do you say this? Oronks 62, it's best I got. Is Lively still rosterable in a 12-team 9-cat roto? Drop Time Lord for him. I looked through all these box scores, but I just want to double check here on Lively. I know Gafford didn't play tonight, and I was like meh on Lively's stat line. I mean, it's okay. 12 and 9, a block, 2 steals, solid. It's solid. I'm not. By the way, okay, the comparisons of Derek Lively to this guy right here. You've seen him, right? Guys hot take it. Derek Lively, Kevin Garnett. It might be the worst comp I've ever heard in my life. It's not even close. It's not even close. Think about this, guys. Does Derek Lively flirt with triple doubles? No. Does Derek Lively pass the rock and make his teammates better through passing and vision and intelligence? No. Does Derek Lively have a long two? No. Does Derek Lively have a turnaround spinning baseline fadeaway? No. Why do we compare these two guys? It makes no sense to me, okay? And I like the young fella. I do. I like Derek Lively. Him and Kevin Garnett? It's a comp? It's the worst I've ever heard. I just stop doing that right now. Andre Lemouche, put this out. Like, clip this and put this out as a separate deal. Like, everybody, stop doing that, okay? Derek Lively has, like, he's at floor 2. KG's at floor 54. That's how far apart they are. Derek Lively is like just above the ground. KG's in the top damn floor. He's in the penthouse, okay? Stop it. Yes, drop the Time Lord for Derek Lively. Yes. I'm not a Time Lord guy. I don't trust the injury thing, the minutes. Ayton came back tonight. Donovan Klingen's going to come back. He'll be third string. Y'all do whatever the hell you want to do with Robert Williams. Pick him up, drop him, start him, trade him. I don't care. I don't care. He's just off my radar. Orox62, thank you for reaching out. Andre tells me Wilson was out with a calf injury. Okay. Even more reason to go for Zaire Williams as opposed to Jalen Wilson. All right. Maximus Vision, number 1968, says Okongwu or Time Lord. 10-team, 9-cat, head-to-head. Thanks. It's Okongwu. For a couple of reasons. All the stuff I just said about the Time Lord, I'm going to hang my hat on that. And Okongwu is a terrific player, and I know that he's coming off the bench. And let me just double check this real quick here. Let me go to my depth chart with 1 year left on his deal for Clint Capella, 1 year, 22. Clint Capella is going to be traded at the deadline. I feel good about that. Clint Capella is still in low minutes, having a good year this year. He's Clint Capella. He flirts with a double-double, gives you a block or two. He's a lob threat and a rim runner and a shot. All the Clint Capella stuff. He still does that. He doesn't suck now. He just plays less minutes, and his stats are. I know you look at Clint Capella, man. These stats suck. Okay, he's playing 22 minutes a game. Get him to a spot like, and this is my thing on Capella. I want him traded to a contender that is like, yo, Clint Capella is exactly what we need to do what we need to do. Boom, he's going to play 30 minutes. He's going to start, and he's going to start going like 14 and 12 with 2 blocks, right? And like really kind of turbo his stat line. But that ain't going to happen in Atlanta. All right, so I want Capella to be traded. If/when Capella is traded, Okongwu is going to be a heavy hitter in fantasy basketball. Double-doubles every night with blocks and goodies, and he's just going to be absolutely fantastic. Atlanta needs to consolidate and trade Capella, and I promise you they're going to at least hard work on that in advance of the deadline. So I say Okongwu, and that's both for present tense and the possible league-winning upside of Capella being traded out. And then we get Mr. Jingles here, 12-team head-to-head. D'Angelo, Conley, or Malcolm Brogdon? Again, awesome question. None of the above. I'm really not psyched about any of these guys. I'm really not. It's definitely not D'Angelo. He's third on this list. Conley came back tonight and played pretty well. Golly, this is tough. I'm going to say Malcolm Brogdon. Mike Conley feels like he's aging this year. I feel like a shift has happened with him. Kind of like what happened with Kyle Lowry, where he went from like, because Conley put up a rosterable non-waiver wire stat line with Minnesota last year. This year, Conley's doing a waiver wire thing. So I say Brogdon. I just think there's more upside there, and I'm not crazy about any of those guys. It is Fantasy NBA today. Hello, I'm Rick Camlet. We're breaking down the fantasy goodies. OKC and Golden State is a meat grinder, and we'll be talking about that one later. We want you to catch us live on YouTube before each show for Q&A, which we just did. Don't miss any updates. Subscribe to the Sports Ethos YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up if you are enjoying the content. We would appreciate that. Okay. We move on to the Magic Man of the night. I have two of them. And you know what? Yeah, it's because Doc's not here. Because Doc does one and I do. I'll do two. Number one for me is Trae Young. Trae Young is my number one player of the night. And there were a lot of great performances tonight. Trae Young, to me, is at the top here because Atlanta went into Cleveland and beat the Cavaliers. Gave them their first home loss, gave them their second loss of the year. This is the best win of the year for Atlanta by far. It's proof that they are, I mean, look, they're going to be Atlanta and screw it up and stuff like that, right? But they're dangerous. They have talent on that team. Trae Young tonight went 20 points, 22 assists, obviously inspired by the Elfrid Payton 21-dime game a night or two ago. He had 3 balls, and it was just sensational. I mean, he went 20-20. He leads the league in assists. That lead widened with the performance tonight. My other Magic Man is James Harden. 43 points. It was a Houston Harden stat line tonight. He had 4 rebounds. He had 7 assists. He had 3 steals. He had 7 threes. 7. Oh, James Harden, he's one of the best stat guys of all time. He is, guys. We got to give him credit. I know I bang on Harden all the time. In reality, I can't deal with him at all. In the playoffs, he's dead to me. But my goodness, man, he is one of the best stat guys this league has ever seen. This dude put up a 60-point triple-double in his Houston days. But, I mean, like, he's in his mid-30s, parties his face off, never in tip-top shape, and he goes out there and gives him 43, 4 and 7, 3 steals and 7 threes. Gosh, he's an amazing fantasy basketball player, man. So James Harden, the other Magic Man of the night. Hey, if you're enjoying the show, the best way to support us is by subscribing to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. Download our episodes, and there you will find special episodes that are not live. All right, so let's get into our Wednesday recap here. And I want to start with Atlanta and Cleveland and talk about the forwards in this game. We already paid homage to Trae Young. Jalen Johnson tonight, guys, and he does this every night. 22, 9, 7, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 threes. The box score loves Jalen Johnson, and Jalen Johnson loves the box score back. Jalen Johnson has an overall value on Basketball Monster right now of 21. 21. That's second round value. I wasn't taking Jalen Johnson in the second round of drafts. There, I said it. And y'all know I was very high on him coming in. I might have taken him in around 3 or around 4. I didn't take him in the second round. A lot of you did, okay? And if you did, you probably were like, okay, here goes nothing, like you're jumping off a cliff and you don't quite know where the rocks are underneath. You felt good about it, but maybe, just maybe. Good for you all. Number 21 in value right now. And by the way, that number is going like this, all right? Kind of like Jalen Williams, who did suffer an injury tonight for OKC. But like Jalen Williams goes off every night and just goes a little tick up, a little tick up, a little tick up. Coming into tonight, he was 6th in fantasy value. SGA was 4th, okay? And there's not much of a separation between the two. And then Evan Mobley, guys, he's 22 in value on Basketball Monster. Jalen Johnson, 21. Evan Mobley, 22. Pretty cool, huh? And Evan Mobley did this tonight. 22 and 12 and 5 assists and 5 blocks and 3 steals and 1 3. Give this young man a round of applause. Evan Mobley's having that year, y'all. He's up to 22 in fantasy value. Good look. That was fun. And Evan Mobley in the first half had a highlight going up against Jalen Johnson where he like rose baseline for the jam. Jalen Johnson was there and he like moved off like that and then had enough like hang time to jam. You got, if you didn't see it, you got to see that dunk. Put Evan Mobley dunk and it'll be on Twitter and you can see it. All right, Lakers and Spurs. One thing I want to talk about here is Dalton Connect. The other night, the Lakers got trucked for the second straight time, and they lost for the third straight game. And we were talking about what in the hell is J.J. Redick doing with Cam Reddish starting over Dalton Connect? It makes sense nowhere. Not in Korea, not in China, not in Germany, not in Africa, not in the United States of America. It does not make sense anywhere. Not the sun, not Mars, nowhere, JJ. And he got it right. Connect started tonight. Connect played well tonight. Arguably the best Laker on the floor. And I know that LeBron had a triple-double. I do. Dalton Connect had 20 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, 4 threes. He was fantastic. And JJ, don't screw this up, bro. I know you've got the finely coiffed hair, drawing comparisons to Pat Riley, and you strut around that court with JJ Redick dookie arrogance. I see it. I get it. I do you, bro. Don't mess this up. Dalton Connect has to start. That was some dumbassery, that whole Cam Reddish thing. After Dalton Connect has these massive eruption games, like, what were you doing? Rant over. All right. Dalton Connect, guys, I'm telling you, he has a spot in the starting lineup. Period. Like Stephon Castle in San Antonio. I noticed it very early. I told Doc, he's looking really, really sticky in that starting 5. He has not left, folks. And Stephon Castle's not leaving that Spurs starting 5 for the next 15 years. Okay? That's same thing's going to happen with Dalton Connect. He's that good. Guy's got a wetter. He's got good size. He's a man. He's pro-ready because he was an aged guy coming out of college. Stop it. Okay? Stop the madness. So me and Doc told you, don't drop Dalton Connect. Boom. This game is why. Because now it should be smooth sailing the rest of the year. And I'm telling you guys, he's going to be 15, 17, 21, 23, 14, 21, 19. He's going to be putting up good numbers for you, man. He is. All right, New York and Dallas. Fantasy NBA today. With your boy, Rick Kamla. Dr. A is, I think he's partying in Tijuana right now. I'm not really sure, guys. Whereabouts are unknown right now, but we do feel good about his safety. Okay, I will say that. But we love Dr. A. And hopefully, he's like, oh, crap, I'm late. And he like spills in at like 12:15 and we can just bust his balls and have fun about it. All right, Knicks and Dallas. Dallas trucked the Knicks tonight. Uncompetitive game. Klay Thompson, guys, is now missing time with this injury, the soft tissue injury. And so I wish him well. I don't know how long of an absence this is going to be. Hopefully he can come back in the next game, but it's got my attention now. Like, again, I don't know, guys, but Klay Thompson's out. I hope it's not a long absence. Clearly, if you have Klay Thompson, like, he's rosterable, he's solid, but it's not like losing Devin Booker or Kevin Durant or Jokic or somebody like that. Okay, you're going to be able to make it work without Klay Thompson. Malik Beasley off of waivers is very Klay Thompson-ish, okay? And there were many beneficiaries, and maybe you just go and pick up some Mavericks here. Grimes had 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 threes. And he's been playing really well over the last couple of weeks. Najee Marshall's another guy you can go scoop up, okay? He had 24 points with 2 threes tonight, and he's been very consistent and very productive of late for Dallas. And honestly, Najee's starting to look kind of sticky in that starting 5. I take that back. Clay's going to get his starting job back, and PJ Washington's going to start at the other forward spot. I take that back. Speaking of PJ Washington, 19, 10, and 7. He had blocks, steals, and threes as well. So there were many beneficiaries to Klay Thompson being out. And this just was kind of a dud. It just like a brain fart game for the New York Knicks. Like every team has like 2 or 3 games a year where they just absolutely suck. And the Washington Generals could beat them. Tonight was one of those nights for the New York Knicks. And a bunch of Mavericks played well. But those are the fantasy takeaways, okay? I don't know how long Klay is going to be out, but as long as he is out, Grimes and Najee are looking good as waiver wire pickups. And PJ Washington's already on a roster, but he's enjoying a little pop right now with Klay Thompson being out. Miami at Charlotte tonight. Couple of points I want to make about this one. Tijan Stallon. I told you. Did you pick him up? I hope you did, because it's going to be harder to do it now. And the game he had the other night was kind of like, all right. Hold on one second. A little Diet Mountain Dew for the late night for your boy Cam. But his stat line the other night was okay. Honestly, it didn't show all that much promise. But like I said, I've seen him play this year. I know that this dude loves to jack threes. He's done it all year. And so and so it's one of those things. It's a speculative pickup. Like, I think this guy's going to be good and play well. Well, tonight he did that. 17 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 3 threes. And this stat line built on the previous stat line. I believe that the next stat line is going to build on this stat line. Okay. I think he was the 6th overall pick. He was their first pick in the draft. They're a young-ishy team. And so they have a lot of incentive to play this guy. And you're without Mark Williams. You're without Grant Williams. And so he's going to play a lot. Okay. So it is probably still in waivers in your league, honestly. Okay. So don't feel, oh man, I missed the boat. You probably didn't miss the boat. I would go get him. I really think he's a great pickup right now. I think Salon is, again, you're going to get threes from a center power forward type. It's unique. It's a separator. And those are the things that just make a huge difference on your team. Like in baseball, if you're getting steals from your catcher, it's like ridiculous. It's like you're stealing. Okay. And like in basketball, like if you're like a Jokic or a Sabonis, those types of guys, or a Şengün, where you're getting like a really nice assist total from a center, it's just such a differentiator, man. LeBron's always been that 2 players for the price of 1 guy, giving you the 27, 7, and 7, giving you the big man stat line and the little man stat line all in the same dude. And so Tajon Salon, to me, go get him. Shout out to LaMelo Ball. And shout out to the biggest volume shooter we have in the NBA right now. He took 35 shots tonight. 35. He scored 32 points. Okay, so that's upside down, obviously, but we'll take it. 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 7 3 balls. My God. What a year LaMelo Ball is having. LaMelo, I'm going to stop talking because I don't want to give you the broadcaster jinx. I don't. But that's a spectacular year and another just unbelievable stat line from LaMelo Ball. And a point I want to make about the Miami Heat. By the way, I still think you need to sell high with LaMelo Ball. They say, run to the tape. I don't trust that he's going to run to the tape, okay, and be a heavy hitter and a league winner for you in April. I just don't trust it. I hope it happens. I just don't trust it. I would be, again, we talked about it the other night. I'm getting into a Donovan Mitchell. I'm getting into a De'Aaron Fox. I'm trying to go kind of lateral with that now, but for the long haul, feeling better about the availability prospects of that other player. Miami, okay. Can we just go ahead and admit and hug up on the fact that Tyler Hero, it's Dr. A. It's Dr. A.
Hello.
On Fantasy NBA Today. Let's go, dude. What's up?
Dude, 1 minute I'm cutting green beans and watching the Lakers and Spurs. And the next minute my wife is like, don't you have a podcast right now? I'm like, yeah. my alarm hasn't gone off yet. I'm fine. And I look at the clock. I'm like, well, shit. But it's nice knowing that my cohort can carry this thing all by himself.
I got you, bro. I got you, bro. Like Hercules, man, with the globe on my back. I got you, bro. I'm used to carrying you on the normal broadcast, so I got you when you're not here.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. LaMelo Ball. My Cam Dynasty team is doing well. I'm actually competing. We're having fun. We're beating people, and it's all because of LaMelo. I haven't had LaMelo the last couple of years. My team sucked. LaMelo's on fire. I'm kind of tough to beat now.
Doc A right now in the Cam Dynasty is beating Justin Fensterman, another fantasy sports legend. Justin, right? Have you done radio with him or at least heard of him?
Yep.
I'm a big fan. I'm buddies with Justin. We've worked together on a variety of platforms, including fantasy sports radio. Dr. A is beating him 6-2 right now. Doc, that's a good look. Fensty's got actually a really good team. He won the chip Well, no, Ken Kreitz beat him on a technicality 2 years ago, but he was right there for the chip 2 years ago. Dake. Damn, dude, you're in 5th place. Look at Dr. A. Andre Lemouche. Dr. A is engaged with Fantrax, first of all. Okay, that is a huge breakthrough. He's engaged with something, with a product of Fantrax. By the way, I have no problem with Fantrax. I actually like Fantrax. Doc has a different opinion about Fantrax, and I'll leave it at that. But Doc, you are in 5th place right now, 25-15, and I mean, obviously, if you keep up this lead, you're going to be maybe moving into 4th place here. You're 2 games out of 4th place, dude. I'm impressed. I'm excited. Doc, you're my boy, man. You're my boy. Now, I want to kick your ass and win the championship over you, but I love that you're competitive. Let's go, dude.
Well, I got Alpi Şengün. I've got LaMelo, and I've got another. I think I've got another stud in there too.
Let's go. You got Sexton, Amen, Denny, MPJ. You got Alpi. You got Zaire Williams. Did you pick him up streamer style?
Yep.
He didn't have a great line tonight, but I like the fact that you're making streamer pickups, okay? Because that hasn't always been the case. He's got Al Horford, LaMelo Ball. Why do you still have Trey Jones on your team? Like, I'm going Dr. Phil on your roster right now. Why? Trey Jones, dude, cut that dude. He's got Miles McBride, Kevin Huerter, Dalton Connect. Jalen Smith. Bro, move him to IR. He's got the red flag. You got Obi Toppin and you got Andre Drummond. On his IR, he's got Patrick Williams, who's going to probably stay there for the rest of his career. Donovan Clingan. And, of course, my boy Dake loves himself some Time Lord. You got to have a little Time Lord there at the end of the roster, man. Yo, you got to cut Trey Jones, dude. Why are you still rostering Trey Jones?
I don't have an answer for that.
Oh my God. So yeah, Doc. Anyway, that was a fun little jaunt into your team. It's a solid roster, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man.
It's a solid roster. So, Doc, all right. So check this out, dude. Is it time to just admit that Tyler Hero is the best player on the Miami Heat? Is it time? Tonight he was. He's been the best player on the Miami Heat for almost the entire season. Tonight he won 27, 8, and 5. He's 44th in value on Basketball Monster. Bam Adebayo's 52nd. Jimmy Butler's 84th. Tyler Hero is almost doubling up the value that Jimmy Butler is providing right now. And Jimmy Butler was a wasteland tonight. Is it time for us to just admit, Doc, that Tyler Hero is the best damn player on the Miami Heat?
I mean, he is. He plays. He's more consistent than Bam and Jimmy. He's better than Bam and Jimmy. I'd rather have him on my fantasy team than Bam and Jimmy.
Me too, dude. Me too. By the way, shout out to Casey. Say hi to her for me, man. Dr. Ray has fallen in here, guys. OKC and Golden State is a barn burner right now. It's 94-93 GSW with about 7.5 minutes to go. Doc, DeAndre Ayton played basketball tonight. DeAndre Ayton. Doc, I thought he was just going to leave the ski mask on and just steal money. Put the money in the bag. He came back tonight. He did DeAndre Ayton things, 16 points, 12 rebounds, and very, he had 3 blocks and 1 steal. So don't get used to that, okay, right? The 4 stock. He ain't going to do that. He was obviously feeling frisky tonight, first game back. But DeAndre Ayton played basketball tonight. We got the news on Clingan that he's going to miss a couple of weeks. So Ayton should be putting up some pretty good stat lines here for a minute.
Yeah, and I took a flyer in DFS, and I thought Duop Reed might be called into action tonight. Never got off the bench again. Thanks for the tip, Andre. Yeah, I mean, DeAndre Ayton was good, and I don't understand what Portland's doing, but they're kind of good. They won 7 games. That's way more games than I thought they were going to win. Shadon Sharp was nice. Anthony Simons was pretty good. Scoot had one of those March lines from last year, 17 points, 9 assists. Hopefully Scoot gets it going, man.
The thing is, though, he's probably not coming off the bench. He had a really good game tonight, but when you come off the bench, that's going to ebb and flow. There's going to be matchups that benefit you. There's just going to be nights you're feeling it. And Doc, obviously, this is all stuff that you know. But when you can't, count on and rely on specific minutes each night as a bench player, like if Scoot comes out and has a terrible first half and shoots like 1 of 6, then he's probably going to play less in the second half. And Chauncey's going to just push other buttons because he's got some other options right there. All right. And then just want to shout out quickly Tyrese Halliburton, who's really heating up now. 28, 8, and 10. He had 5 3 balls. So, Hallie, keep it up. And you owe us, okay, after that. I mean, basically tricked off the first month of the season. So, we need a lot of these lines to rehab his overall stat line. Doc, as we pivot here to Chicago and Orlando, I just want to make a point about Jalen Suggs. I love the guy, okay? I have a Suggs jersey. That's how big of a fan I am of him. I'm down here in Florida. I don't have a Polo jersey or a Franz jersey. I have a Suggs jersey. That's my guy. One of the best dogs we have in the NBA. He went off tonight. He had 31 points, 7 assists, 4 threes, and he's been absolutely fantastic in fantasy basketball. He took a pop last year to where we're like, and then it got him paid right in this offseason. He has taken his game to a totally different level. And, he's not a guy that's going to rest on his laurels. He's not a guy that's going to be like, I got paid like DeAndre Ayton, and I have nothing more to prove, and I'm good. I'm just going to milk this and make this money. Suggs wants to win a title. Suggs is a competitive badass, and he had 31 tonight. His overall stat line is great. Great 3 line, a great steal line. He blocks shots. And frankly, Doc, he's probably one of the top 5 perimeter defenders in the NBA, but he's 65th right now in basketball monster value. And, I don't know the exact round he was drafted, Doc, but he's overachieving on his draft spot. That's for sure. So what caught your eye from Chicago and Orlando?
Well, Nikola Vucevic, I like the fact that he doubled again. The guy just keeps going. Kind of a machine. He's been really good. Ayo Dosunmu hit 10 of 12 shots, scored 21 points for the Bulls in a bad loss. That was pretty impressive. Talen Horton-Tucker out of nowhere for 20 points. Franz Wagner kind of came back to earth, 7 of 20, 21 points, only hit 1 3, but still scored 21 points with 6 dimes. And then Wendell Carter Jr. was in the starting lineup, played 18 minutes, but Goga Batadze stayed in the starting lineup with him and doubled with 11 points, 11 boards. And then kind of like Jalen Suggs, who I think has been kind of quiet lately, Contavious Caldwell-Pope out of nowhere for 24 points, 6 triples. That's been a long time coming.
It definitely has, Doc. I want to verify something here, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. Okay, I'm tripping. I see Pat Spencer up here for Golden State. And I'm like, that looks a lot like Cam Spencer, who anyway, I'm tripping. But Golden State has a guy, Pat Spencer. Okay. He's playing in a 1-point game mid-4th quarter. Pat Spencer. Have you ever heard of Pat Spencer? Right? I haven't. Okay. He's on the court for State. It's a non-step game for them. I'm a bit in the twilight zone on that. We'll sort that out as we move ahead. But something to kind of put on the back burner here. Cam Spencer is with the Wiz. Thank you, Andre. I'm in my brain about this. And I like Cam Spencer. Cam Spencer helped UConn win a chip with Tristan Newton, with Stephon Castle, with Donovan Clingan. And I grew to love Cam Spencer. And I'm like, did Golden State somehow get Cam Spencer? Because if so, I freaking love this. And now I'm seeing some cat named Pat Spencer, who I've never even heard of. Okay. All right. Anyway, reeling it back in here, Doc. Let's move on to Houston and Philadelphia.
Can I ask a quick question before we do that?
Of course.
Benedict Mathurin had 24 points and 10 boards. So let's go back to Indy for just a second. Neesmith is coming back. Is this the sell high moment on Mathurin? Like, is his runs going to come to an end soon, or should we be hanging on to him?
I think you hang on to him, Doc, because Nebhard is out. And Ben Mathurin's different this year, Doc. There's a confidence boost that I'm noticing. There's a production boost. There's just a badass boost, right? There's like, he's gone up a ladder in maturity and like everything and development. And he's a different guy because right. Mathurin was always like really inconsistent. He'd like hit 17 one night and then 3 and then 20 and then 5. And you're like, dude, I'm on a yo-yo. You're playing with my emotions. What's up? It's what young players do. So think about it, Doc. If Nebhard comes back, then we do that. But Neesmith coming back, Neesmith scores 10, 11 points a game, right? And plays doggy defense and hits corner threes. Like, I don't think he's going to pinch Mathurin in scoring and usage rate. Nebhard, I think, will pinch him in scoring. And I know Nebhard doesn't score a lot, but he's a guy that's got the rock a lot, right? And so that'll keep it out of Mathurin's hands. That's my take. I think Mathurin's a hold.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think he's a hold until he proves that he's not. He's been great. He's having a great year.
So Andre Lemouche with the goodies as always. Shout him out. He says, Pat Spencer, Northwestern Wildcats. As in, he went, I'm tripping like it's some like Australian team, like Northwestern, like in Chicago, like in the Big Ten. Okay. Started his pro career in Germany, Hamburg, I believe, and has been around the G League. And again, Pat frickin' Spencer is taking minutes from somebody that we know in the fourth quarter for Golden State, and he is now on the bench. They have Lindy Waters and Pajemski into the game. Doc, Houston at Philadelphia. Game goes to overtime, and Alpi Şengün, dude, I tell you, but maybe my favorite move in the NBA right now. I don't want to say it that way. One of my favorite moves in the NBA right now is Alpi Şengün behind the back, okay? And he had a move tonight. He was basically at the left elbow, and he went behind the back, left hand or right hand, and then it went up with a nice finish. He had another, like, spectacular, violent drop step spin move for a bucket. Yabusele was the center, basically, in this game and guarding Şengün. That did not go well for Yabusele, okay, although he did have a very good stat line. Shout out to Alpi Şengün, okay, once again was like, and like the guy to win the game. Okay, back-to-back overtime wins for Houston, by the way, Doc. But I got to call myself out. Doc, what did I say about Jalen Green last night?
We kind of said he was on his way out, and that we didn't use the word washed, but we were like, he's kind of done. And then tonight, he looked like the Jalen Green we saw the first 2 weeks of the season when he was just using people.
He sure did, Doc. He sure did. Jalen Green urinated on my take last night. He did. Straight urinated on it. Like, really? Here you go. I got something for you, Cam. Remember last night I was talking about whoop, 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 DEFCON 1 around here, okay? The Russians are at our door, and they're mad. And he went 41 points tonight, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 2 steals, and 4 threes. Yes, that was a Cold War joke for all you old heads out there. They aren't actually at our door. Calm down. There's not a War of the Worlds thing going on here. So shout out to Jalen Green. Okay. Now, can you do it again and again and again and again? Because it was a 4-game cluster, Doc, of substitute for Jalen Green. Horrible shooting, low stats. Amen Thompson finished that previous game over him. And then tonight, Jalen Green is like, shh, good for him, but keep it up. Doc, I want to talk about Gershon Yabusele because he has been percolating the last couple of games, and tonight he popped 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 4 threes. I believe that's his best stat line as an NBA player ever. Okay. Is he a must add to you, Yabusele?
Has anybody seen Joel Embiid lately?
He's on a milk carton. He's on a milk carton, bro.
I think Yabusele is worth a look for sure. Like, I have Trey Jones in Cam Dynasty. If Yabusele is out there, I'm going to pick him up instead for sure.
All right, let me broker this deal right now. Let me see, because I want you to get Yabu. I love me some Yabusele, by the way. I'm a fan. Yabusele got picked up, dude. Tim Tripp has him. Yeah. Buzzkill.
He should have been. He should have been picked up.
I bet he was just picked up. Where's Yabusele off of waivers? No, he's had Yabusele for a minute. Okay, all right. Anyway, look, is he a must add? No, but he's an ad. Because we're accumulating good stat lines right now. And like a lot of you watch the Olympics, I watched probably 5 France games, and I tuned in for Wemby, and I was continually distracted by this dancing bear, as they call him, Gershon Yabusele. And, I remembered him from Boston, first round pick that never played him. And I'm like, damn, Yabusele can really play. And he's got, he's just got like, the fun body type. He looks like a football player out there, and he's real burly and physical. I like it. I like it a lot.
He's been good in 3 out of 4 games. Also, the Sixers have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of their last 8.
Caleb Martin.
It might be too late.
Caleb Martin didn't play tonight. And Kyle Lowry was out tonight. Guys, they're a dumpster fire. Yabusele is a guy like streamer for sure. And is he a pickup that could be like, a mainstay for your team? I don't know. We're still early on that, but keep your eye on Yabusele. Okay. Let's move on to Clippers in Washington.
Hey, shout out to Amen Thompson, man. 3 steals, 3 blocks, 12 boards, 19 points. And Tari Eason showed up as well.
But not like Amen. Not like him. Amen is, golly. Doc, that's one of my guys. That's one of my young fellas, man. I love me some Amen Thompson, man. We got to get his brother Ausar on a similar level, and we'll get to Ausar in a minute because there was a development with him tonight. Kyle Kuzma, Doc, as we talk about Clippers in Washington, I already paid homage to James Harden in the Magic Man with the game that he had. So the points I want to make here, Doc, and you can take it wherever you want to go. Keyshawn George is a must add right now because Kyle Kuzma left rib sprain. That sounds complicated. They suck. Cooper flag anyone? They're not rushing him back. I'm not saying Kuzma's done for the year, but I'm not saying he's not done for the year. Left rib sprain. What does that mean? Where are we? It sounds really ominous. If I'm a Kuzma owner, I'm like, I need to make other plans. I'm going to INJ his ass, and I'm going to hope for the best and move on. Okay. Keyshawn George. Kuzma was out earlier this year. All right. That's when Keyshawn George entered the starting lineup and got our attention for the first time. And I'm like, damn, I didn't even think this rookie was going to dent the rotation at all. Okay. Because he's just off my radar. And so, boom, he's having some nice games. Okay. Then Kuzma came back. Keyshawn George went back to the bench, and his lines really sucked and went back to waivers. And so, boom, pop, here we are. Kuzma is injured, and God bless him. I'm not happy about Kuzma getting hurt. We're just reacting to it in fantasy basketball. Keyshawn George, to me, his stat, he's putting up 3s, blocks, and steals. He's giving you goodies. All right. Go get him. And Doc, I'm worried about Jordan Poole because he had a hip injury. It kept him out. He came back tonight. He absolutely sucked. 8 points on 1 of 7. I'm not saying cut him or do anything rash, but I think we all anticipated a correction and a little bit of like after the supernova start that he had, that, man, he's got to come back to earth a little bit, right? And we're seeing that gravitational pull with Jordan Poole right now.
Yeah, tonight was rough for Poole. I don't understand why we're playing Malcolm Brogdon and letting him do so much for a team that's got 2 wins on the season. Keyshawn George didn't do anything tonight. I guarantee you he's available in your league. Now might be the time to get in on the ground floor with him. Bub Carrington, 19 minutes, 3 points, 4 assists. I just can't believe they're playing Malcolm Brogdon and letting him be this big of a piece of the machinery. Like, let Bub Carrington play, man.
Bub's coming off the bench now. So we promised you an Osar Thompson conversation. And here it is. Detroit played at Memphis tonight. Memphis got a big victory. They're like 12-7. Taylor Jenkins right back where he always is, on the fringe of the coach of the year debate. He's never really in the core of it, right? But like last year was different. But most years I'm looking at Taylor Jenkins like, bro, you just coached your freaking ass off with all the injuries and young players. And I'm impressed, dude. He is a hell of a coach, man. Memphis crushed Detroit tonight. So no Cade Cunningham. Tonight there was no Tobias Harris. So Osar Thompson entered the starting five. That's the good news. The bad news was the stat line. 3 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal in 20 minutes. That is not going to pay the fantasy bills. But it's a start, Doc. Okay? And I don't know how long Tobias Harris is going to miss. I hope it's not long at all. But our guy Osar, Doc, took a step towards fantasy relevance tonight.
Yeah, he did. I mean, 20 minutes. That's all you could really hope for. We've been telling people to drop him. You know, people are like, hey, I've got these 3 guys. Which one should I drop? And the answer is always Osar. And I think it still is for now. But at least this was a step in the right direction. There's a chance that he can build on this and keep playing meaningful minutes and start producing fantasy-wise. We had a Marcus Sasser sighting, finally. There's no Cade Cunningham. Jaden Ivey, I don't know what was going on with that. 7 turnovers, 18 minutes. Like, Jaden Ivey's supposed to be going off with no Cade Cunningham. But Marcus Sasser, 9 and 13 points, 22 points, 5 assists. Are you moving on Sasser at all?
No, not yet. You remember I'm not, because like tonight was a blowout loss and he's a deep bench player and he had a good game. It speaks to like goodies and garbage time. And so I'm not feeling it. But Doc, I told you this last year, okay? We're in this league called 30 deep. And there's some lessons that you can take from our studies and our wins and our losses and our trials and tribulations from 30 deep to your own roster. Some of them you can't, some of them you can't. But Doc, in terms of Marcus Sasser, so I told you last year I had Delano Banton, right, Doc? And I cut him. Okay. And I cut him because he wasn't playing and I wanted to just go out and get a guy who had a pulse, right? And was playing 20 minutes a game. And I told you that was a big mistake because I dropped a guy that when he plays can give you a lot of goodies for nickels and dimes and a pulse. That's not how you should operate in this 30-team league. You get a guy that's talented when and if he gets the opportunity, you know he's going to hit it. And so you just leave him on your bench for week after week after week after week when Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey are healthy. Marcus Sasser's not even playing. But we saw Marcus Sasser last year. He's talented. He provides goodies when he's on the court. And so I'm like, I'm not cutting him. I'm going to be patient with this and play it out because if one of these guys blows a tire, Sasser's going to be right back in there, and he is a talented young player. So, Doc, I learned my lesson, and this is what our fantasy managers should be doing. We all make mistakes. We're not perfect, okay? And Doc, how many decisions do we make in a fantasy basketball season? Thousands, okay? You're not going to get every one of them right, but when you blow a tire, learn from it, and I did. And so I'm applying it right now with Marcus Sasser, and I don't know how long Cade's going to be out, Doc, but like we talked about last night, the sacroiliac joint sprain or whatever is concerning as hell. So Sasser, if you're in a super deep league, you might want to make a move on him. But if you're in a 10, 12, 14, I don't think you need to go get Sasser just yet.
Pat Spencer in the game, sweet dish to Draymond Green. Pat Spencer wears number 61 and looks like a dude that played in our intramural league in college, and he was really good. But he doesn't look like an NBA player. I mean, what is Steve Kerr would play you or I if we were on the roster, I think.
Bro, do you remember the year where Anthony Lamb was playing over Jonathan Kuminga? You remember that?
Yeah.
Anthony Lamb. Golden State cut him, and the league was like, yeah, we good. Nobody signed him. And he's out there starting for Golden State over Jonathan Kuminga. Steve Kerr, you're killing us, bro. We talked about it many, many times. Steve Kerr has the worst rotation in the NBA this year, 30th out of 30. And you're like, but Kamla, they're winning. I know. You can have a shitty rotation and still win, especially over here in the fantasy space. Like, Steve Kerr ain't our guy over here in fantasy basketball, okay? Speaking of fantasy NBA today, Ethos After Dark. It is Rick Kamla. It is Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. Nice of him to join us here tonight. All right, Doc, let me give you a little play-by-play. OKC's up 3, 19 seconds left. They inbound the ball. And is that Vasi Micic? Is that Dylan Jones who just got fouled by Draymond Green? No, AJ Mitchell. Sorry, I'm trying to identify these random OKC players. AJ Mitchell. That kid must be a great free throw shooter if he was in the game. Wait, they got a foul on Hartenstein. I'm tripping. Missed the first one. So we'll see on the second one. All right, Doc. Sacramento at Minnesota. Kind of a meh game. I don't really have a lot for you here. I just want to make the point that Malik Monk went off tonight. He was the story of the game. 27, 8, and 9. And that's an aberration. Do not get anywhere, shape, or form cozy and expectant of that, because Murray's out there, Herter's out there, DeRozan wasn't out there, but I don't expect him to miss a lot of time. Andrew Wiggins just hit a 3-ball 1-point game. And then Mike Conley came back tonight, Doc, meaning Rob Dillingham, who just had the Rob Dillingham game last night, played like 6 minutes and did nothing. And we told you last night, I ain't feeling Dillingham, with Dante there and with Conley there. But what stuck out from Sacramento and Minnesota to you?
Nothing really. I feel like Julius Randle's I feel like he's a bull in a china shop, like just a wrecking ball out there. Like, I don't know that Minnesota's, they're not going to be as good as they were last year with Julius Randle kind of gunking everything up in the middle there. Like, they're missing something. And I think that something is Cat. Nas Reed, up and down. Dante DiVincenzo, invisible. Rudy Gobert, Rudy Gobert, he's like become the laughing stock in fantasy land, right? In reality, like, guys just want to go at him. And tonight, Domantas Sabonis, like, oh crap, I'm playing against Rudy Gobert. Oh good, I'm playing against Rudy Gobert. 27 points, 12 boards, 5 assists. Like, Rudy Gobert has lost his mojo, man.
I think you could dunk on Rudy Gobert right now. I really do. I think Doc could just go up and just yam on Rudy. All right, so it's Cam, it is Doc, it is Fantasy NBA today, Ethos After Dark. Toronto at New Orleans. Doc, let's talk about a couple of things here. Let's talk about the New Orleans side, then we'll get to the Toronto side, or you can take it anywhere you want to go. There are no rules here. DeJounte Murray came back tonight. He did not play well. And he started with CJ McCollum, Brandon Boston, Javonte Green, and Yves Missi. Because, of course, Zion Williamson is too good for this league, because Brandon Ingram is too good for this league, and because Trey Murphy was injured. So, guys, this is the Pelicans experience. Herb Jones is going to come back at some point, but look, I stand on what I said last night, that DeJounte Murray going forward is going to consistently have the best stat lines on this team. That wasn't the case tonight, but I think it will be. Maybe a little rust tonight for DeJounte Murray. But talk to me about the mess that is the New Orleans Pelicans from a fantasy perspective.
They shot 39% from the floor as a team. They shot 62% from the line as a team. And the box score is just gross. Like Brandon Boston started nothing. Brandon Boston, I was so fired up about him. It's time to move on. They're getting healthy. His run is coming to an end. Elfrid Payton, 27 minutes, 10 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals. I can't get behind Elfrid Payton right now. Congrats to Jordan Hawkins, who came out and played 2 of 9. CJ was 7 of 20. DeJounte 5 of 17. Like, it's just gross. And Yves Misc, there's so much potential there. And he played really well in his last game, but he was really quiet tonight, although he did have a steal and 2 blocks. New Orleans, they're a disaster, dude. 4 and 15. They are a mess.
Doc, you know what's going to happen, don't you?
They're going to move to Seattle?
No, they're going to move they're going to move their coach. I don't think Willie Green's going to make it to the All-Star break.
You might be right.
Would you co-sign that?
Yeah.
He's been there. I mean, David Griffin, who's my guy, by the way, had a very quick trigger finger with Stan Van Gundy. That was one and done, y'all. And frankly, it was an experiment with Willie Green. Now, I'm not going to bang on Willie Green because he has rarely, if ever, had a full, healthy team, right? So, I mean, what are you going to do? It's like Robert Saleh with the New York Jets. When you have an aged, washed-up Aaron Rodgers, who didn't even play last year, you have Zach Wilson, one of the biggest draft busts in NFL history. How in the F can Robert Saleh win games when you've got trash and ass at the quarterback position? The answer is you can't. But guys, get fired about that. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if we get the Shams bomb that Willie Green has been let go. And I like Willie Green, and I think that would suck, but it's a word of the wise. On the Toronto side, Doc, we have a Jacoby Walter situation going on. And I want to know if he's a must-add. He started tonight, Doc. It's a tanking team. You have Grady Dick out with a calf injury. Okay, calf concerning. What are we talking about here? How long? Blah, blah, blah. Right? So we just don't know about that. But Jacoby Walter in the pre-draft process, and I didn't really do the digging on him. I did the digging on a lot of guys. He just happened to not be one of the guys. But I've talked to people like Ryan McDonough, okay, former GM in the NBA, and he really liked Jacoby Walter. And he said, this guy can really, really shoot the rock, okay? And so tonight, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 threes. Really healthy stat line from Jacoby Walter. And again, Grady Dick with the soft tissue injury, just don't know how long he's going to miss, okay? So how are you feeling about Jacoby Walter? Are you feeling must-addish about Jacoby Walter?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know much about him, but he shot 10 3-pointers. He only hit 2 of them, but he got 28 minutes started. I mean, that certainly has my attention. He may have been a very hot pickup in 30 deep tonight. I don't know if he was already rostered or not. But then I also kept seeing Jay Battle pop up all night, and all I could think of was John Battle from the old Atlanta Hawk from back in the day. But it's Jamison Battle. Hit 9 of 11 shots, 6 triples, 24 points, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. I mean, who are these guys, and where can I get some?
That is Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. I'm Rick Kamla. Doc, let's move on to these late night games, man. Because
shout out Jakob Bertel, who I was shouting about last night about how great he is. 1 of 4, 2 points, 8 boards. I don't know what happened there against a centerless New Orleans Pelicans team, but look for Jakob Bertel bounce back in the next one.
Bro, if we crush a guy, he goes off in the next game. If we go on and on and on positively about a guy, he sucks in the next game. It's weird. It's called Murphy's Law, the jinx, the broadcaster jinx, whatever it is. But it's just so strange how It usually goes that way. The Brooklyn Nets went into Phoenix and beat the Suns. This was a horrible loss for the Phoenix Suns, who had a healthy complement of players tonight. Booker had 31. Beal had 17. Durant had 30. They did not get enough from everybody else, which was a problem in Brooklyn. The Kyrie and Harden and Durant thing would usually do too much of the heavy lifting, and like nobody else did anything, and it was kind of a problem up there as well. But Doc, on the Brooklyn side, and we already talked about Zaire Williams a little bit here. Dennis Schroeder just continued to kill it. And somebody named Tyrese Martin had 30 points tonight with 8 threes on 10 of 13 shooting. So Tyrese, you may have been seeing it on the bottom line on ESPN. You're watching these games, the little black bottom line with the white font. And because they've been putting T Martin on there all night for Brooklyn. Like, who the F is T Martin on Brooklyn? Okay. It's Tyrese Martin, and he had 30 points with 8 threes. Doc, he has grabbed our fantasy attention. Tell me more.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. There's like so many guys who crawled out of the woodwork tonight and just went off. And he's one of them. I mean, I couldn't tell you what Tyrese Martin looks like if I had to.
And I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad because I'm like, who the F is
First of all, this entire Brooklyn Nets box score is crazy. Like, yes. I'm kind of feeling Zaire Williams just because I feel like he's going to play and get minutes, and he's interesting to me. Cam Johnson is back. He had a good full stat line. He only hit 3 of 11 shots. Dennis Schroeder. I feel like we say this every week. The guy just won't go away.
Right.
You can't stop Dennis Schroeder. You can only hope to contain him. 29 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 4 triples. Ben Simmons, 7 of 8, 14 points, 9 boards, 8 assists. Like, if Ben Simmons is playing and you're in a deep league and you want to pick him up and stream him, do it. Trendon Watford, we've been talking about him. He looks good. 18 points, 2 boards, 3 assists, 2 threes. And then some dude named Tyrese Martin, 28 minutes, 10 of 13, 30 points. Who knew? Who saw that coming? If you had him in a DFS lineup, enjoy your lottery winnings.
Yeah, good point. I tell you what, Phoenix didn't see him coming. I can tell you that right now. I mean, Brooklyn went down there and beat him. Tyrese Martin was a 2-year player at Rhode Island, then went to UConn, and the stats were pretty good. His senior year, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 43% from 3. Probably been spending some time in the G League here, but Tyrese Martin, 30 with 8 threes tonight. All right. Look, I'm in a 20-team league. Maybe some of you guys are. Like, I'll look right now. In the 20-team league that I'm in, Sam Hinkie's letter, I'm looking for the dynasty this year. I've got 2 chips in the last 4 years, and I'm looking to complete the dynasty. And so far, so good in that regard, by the way. But let me see if Tyrese Martin is available in this league. I bet he is, and I want him because it's a 20-team league, right? The waiver wire is he's the top added guy right here.
Are you going to make a pickup right now on the air?
I'm gonna let's see if I can do it for Andre's guy Duop Reef. It's probably going to give me the Yahoo roadblock because games are in progress or whatever, and it didn't. Oh, I just added Tyrese Martin to my squad, bro. Done. Tyrese Martin on my team and Sam Hinkie's letter. There it is, 30 points, 8 threes on my squad right now. But in this league, it's a 20-team league, and waivers is like it's a ghost town. Okay, it's
barren wasteland.
Yeah, it's like the old Wild West where there's nobody there and just the tumbleweed is rolling through the empty town. That's the one. Yeah. I can't whistle when I have like a big grin, so I'm not going to be able to affect the whistle right now. But I can get into a whistle jam with the best of them. If I have the right facial makeup. I know that sounds very weird, but experiment with it. Try it on yourself.
Is Trendon Watford a pickup?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Let me check the last 5 just to see if I'm missing some galvanization by him, but I don't think I am. I just like to verify I'm not. 10, 6, 3, 8, leading it to tonight's 18-point pop. He had a game, 18 points in 22 minutes. No, I'm leaving. I like his game. I'm not mad at Trendon Watford. I do. And if he's playing 30 minutes a game, he's going to give you fantasy goodies, but I don't, not yet. Doc, good question, but I'm not there. Denver and Utah. Let me check the box on this one. In terms of like some news, John Collins missed this game. Obviously, Lauri Markkanen missed this game. We talked about him the other night. He banged these with Wemby. He was out. Filipowski missed this game. Here go the Jazz again. Doc, Jordan Clarkson missed this game. Okay, like here they go again. This is what they do. They get to a certain point in the season and they pull the plug. And Doc, they pulled the plug before Thanksgiving. Tell your grandkids about that. The Utah Jazz in 2024-25, they started their tank before Thanksgiving. Okay, like the league should literally investigate this ass-rotten team. But in terms of Doc, the box score, which we've been working as that game went final, Nikola Jokic, 30, 10, and 7. He was fabulous once again. Where's my guy Murray? Okay. I have an article up at Sports Ethos Fantasy Basketball right now. Buy low, sell high, guys. I think Jamal Murray's a buy low guy. He's off to another slow start. Stop me if I'm wrong about that. He always has a slow start. And I think he's a buy low candidate right now because Jamal Murray over the last 3 years has averaged 21, 20, and 21. All right. Right now he's at about 18. So he's real light from where he should be, which is 20 to 21 points per game. Dare I say, can we possibly, for the love of God, get to 22 points per game? Is that too much to ask for Jamal Murray? Probably is, but I'm just asking anyway. So, Doc, tonight, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, and a 3, okay? And he's a goody guy. He gives you blocks and steals and 3s from the guard spot. But I think Jamal Murray's a buy low right now, Doc. I'd be putting out, he's healthy. He looks like he's in decent shape. Every game gets a little bit better than the game before. I think the time is now to pounce on Jamal Murray.
I just always worry about him getting hurt. I feel like every time he gets it going and you're like, oh, I got Jamal Murray, I'm going to make a run at a championship. And then he's gone for a month. And maybe I'm wrong on that. But my son, Soren, loves Jamal Murray. He drafts him everywhere. He trades for him. He's like, hey, I got Jamal Murray. I'm like, good luck. He's going down, dude. Hopefully he is healthy. He can stay healthy. If he does stay healthy, I agree with you. He's very quiet. Flies under the radar these days. Wasn't he terrible in the Olympics?
Terrible.
And I feel like he's struggled in the playoffs. And I feel like people are down on Jamal Murray like I am. So yeah, it might be a good time to try to pick him up cheap.
He struggled in last year's playoffs. The playoffs before when they won the chip, he was like Kyrie Irving good. He was magnificent as the Robin to Nikola Jokic. All right, one more game to talk about.
And you're gonna skip over Micah Potter while we're doing this. This is like a no-name edition of Ethos After Dark. Micah Potter started for the Jazz, had 9 points, 16 boards, a block, and 3 triples. Who the hell is Micah Potter?
He's a big. Here's the thing about Micah Potter that's kind of trippy. USA Basketball loves him. I don't know why, but they love him. All right, so you have the pool that goes to Las Vegas, and then they already know the team, okay? But they have the select team, right? remember Cooper Flagg was on that team, and they were just scrimmaging in Vegas against the big boys, right? And Cooper Flagg was making, viral headlines with he's doing this and this and this and all that kind of stuff. Micah Potter was on the select team. And you're like, wait a second. How the F did Micah Potter get on the select team? Because the select team had like really legitimate players, right? The select team guys are trying to pay their dues with Grant Hill to eventually become guys that go to the World Cup or the Olympics. That's how you got to pay your dues. You got to be on the select team, you get in the pipeline, and then you ascend. That's how it goes. Micah Potter is not ascending to a World Cup team or a Olympic team, all right? But he's like a crash test dummy on a football team, right? Like just a practice guy. But Langston Galloway, you remember him, Doc, and we became friendly with him at NBA Radio. We had him on a bunch of times. Really good dude. Langston Galloway is not an NBA player anymore. He is on the select team, all right? So USA Basketball loves these guys. I know that has nothing to do with fantasy basketball, but I have nothing else on Micah Potter except that. Okay, well, so there you go.
Filipowski's hurt. Lauri Markkanen could miss serious time here. So I think Micah Potter and Bryce Sensabaugh are two guys, if you're in a deep league, both of them are worth looking at, I think.
I'm not there with Sensabaugh, but I'm letting for your boy Potter tonight, 16 rebounds and 3 threes. You got my attention, bro. You do. I know I'm like kind of being sarcastic and stuff with all this stuff, but look, obviously the guy doesn't suck. He's on the select team. And you also have the fact, Doc, that Micah Potter's been in the pros for like 4 years now, 3 or 4 years now, kind of languishing on the bench and stuff. But he's been in the league for a minute. And this line tonight speaks to him being ready to play 32 minutes per game. Utah got trucked tonight, but that's a productive stat line. He was actually a +5 tonight, Doc, in the plus minus in a game where they're upside down, losing by 19 to the Denver Nuggets. All right, Doc, one more game to talk about. And let's call this the Pat Spencer Bowl, the Golden State and OKC game. And OKC ended up prevailing in this one. So let's get into the box score a little bit here. And, Doc, I won't eat all the meat off the bone. I guess we do need to start with Jalen Williams here because he did leave the game with an injury, had a absolutely kick-ass stat line in 16 minutes. My God, 13, 6, and 7, 1 block, 2 steals, and 2 threes. Freaking A, dude. Like what a friggin' stat line in 16 minutes. My gosh, that would have been like a Hall of Fame stat line overall had he not suffered an injury. So I had the sound on the game up. Doc, do you know what happened to Jalen Williams, or do you want me to look this up right here? Because he left and did not return, and it looked like he got like maybe poked in the eye or hit in the face or something. Do you know what happened to Jalen Williams?
I don't. That was a
eye. Okay, it is eye. He did get poked in the eye. It looked like that. I hope the kid's okay, man. Getting poked in the eye can be kind of nasty.
After I was exhausted from cutting green beans for an hour, I passed out probably right as Jalen Williams got hurt. So that's very concerning to me. I don't like seeing that. Like he's the God, man, he's been so good. Like Jalen Williams, took him to what, 3rd round, 4th round, and he's like carrying fantasy teams. And that stat line in 16 minutes, like you said, is just sick.
Yeah, usually 16 minutes is like 8 points, 3 boards, 1 steal, no threes, like and sort of an aborted stat line, right? Let me refresh Basketball Monster and see if Jalen Williams has gone up even more. He is just like last night. He's in 6th place. SGA is in 4th place, and their value difference: SGA is a 0.66. Jalen Williams is a 0.60. Like, again, if we told you before the season that Jalen Williams would have almost as good of a stat line as SGA, you would have been like, here's the plastic cup, go urinate in it. They need to evaluate it, okay, for drug abuse. No, that ain't what happened here, man. Like, Jalen Williams is that freaking good. So we got to hope for the best with this, right? We had the Scotty Barnes thing. He had the eye injury and missed, I don't know, Doc, 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. But hopefully it subsides and he can come back here real soon. But he was driving. I forget who it was, kind of came down, would try, the hand trying to track the ball and stuff and hit him in the face. And so hopefully it's not a big deal here for J-Dub. And frankly, Doc, the injuries keep kind of pecking at this team a little bit. Isaiah Joe just missed some time. You have obviously Chet Holmgren on the shelf. Isaiah Hartenstein missed a bunch of time. And my guy, not Dagono's guy, but my guy, Usman Jang, now is out. And I know you don't care at all about my
dude.
boy,
Isaiah Joe started and had 17 points, 4 boards, 2 steals, 4 threes.
30 deep. 30 deep. I love Isaiah Joe. That's my guy.
If Jalen's hurt, Isaiah Joe's going to play a lot.
Ooh, good point. Good point. I would think that Case and Wallace as well, Doc, would get a boost if Jalen Williams is going to miss some time. I think Isaiah Joe's that main guy, but I think Case and Wallace would get a little boost as well. Do you agree?
Yes, he played 33 minutes. And look at this Thunder team, man. We lost Chet Holmgren, so we'll just next man up. Let's go. We lost Jalen Williams, so let's kick the Golden State Warriors' ass in Oakland. We don't care. Isaiah Hartenstein was out the whole first month of the season. We don't care. Like, they are just taking names, kicking ass. If they're healthy at the end of the year, I'm telling you, OKC's going to win it all this year. I really think they are.
I'm not mad at you for saying that. I just think Boston is I think it's Boston, and then like everybody's vying for second place. I actually think there's quite a separation between them and the rest of the league. I'm looking at the Golden State box score here, and I got nothing. I mean, Draymond, 10, 13, and 7. Okay, a Draymond Green game. He was actually really good tonight. Kuminga had 19 with 3 threes. Okay, but like, there's nothing to like get excited about here. There's nobody to like go to the waiver wire about. Hey, Steve Kerr, dude, there is something to talk about here. Doc,
we talk about it every night.
Doc, this is the bane of the fantasy existence, not ours, all of ours. Trayce Jackson-Davis played 4 minutes tonight, Doc. 4. I'm agitated. That doesn't make any sense, dude. 4 minutes for Trayce Jackson-Davis. He had like -2 points tonight.
Buddy Hield, 23 minutes. Kyle Anderson, 17 minutes. Gary Payton, 7 minutes. Moses Moody, with no Steph Curry, 13 minutes. And our guy, Pat Spencer, number 61 for your Golden State Warriors. 15 minutes, 6 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. Pat Spencer, who looks like your student assistant in your dorm room in college, out there balling, guarding the likes of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, Steve Kerr, what are you doing, bro? I don't understand it.
You know where I'm at, right? I'm going to root against Golden State. I'm officially rooting against Golden State. By the way, in case you were wondering, and I knew this just looking at the guy, that Cam Spencer and Pat Spencer are brothers. I mean, and you're like, Kamala, duh, their last name is Spencer. Well, there could be other Spencers, but like they actually look like one another. So they're brothers. Cam Spencer of Memphis and Pat Spencer of Golden State. We all know who Tyrese Martin is now. Weird. We all know who Pat Spencer is now. Weird. This has been Micah Potter. This has been a really weird night in the NBA. A lot of you might be like, hey, now I know who Keyshawn George is. Kuzma's out. Kamala told me to pick him up. This is a very rando edition of the fantasy NBA today. It just is.
Did we do the Lakers?
We did, but
did you start with that?
It was earlier in the show, but I just like Doc. I'm rooting against Golden State now. because they're 12-6. They're one of the top teams in the West with the worst rotation in basketball. So I'm not always petty, but I can get all up into my petty if I need to. And I'm going to get up into my petty on this one because screw you for playing, not you, Doc, the coach of the Warriors, for playing Trace Jackson Davis 4 minutes. I have Trace Jackson Davis in the 30 deep, okay? I'm trying to win the Holy Grail for the first time, and this will not get the job done. 4 minutes for Trace Jackson Davis is one of the stupidest coaching decisions I've seen all year. It's as stupid as J.J. Redick starting Cam Reddish over frickin' Dalton Connect. And we saw what happened tonight. He pivoted off of that, all right? Like, come on, Steve Kerr. You're a future Hall of Fame head coach, bro. Get it together.
Dalton Connect. Welcome back, baby. I didn't even think about dropping Dalton Connect. It never even crossed my mind. But yeah, I'm with you, man. The Heat can suck it. Like, I don't care. I'm not watching you. I'm not rooting for you. Steve Kerr and his Warriors, they're playing good basketball, man. And they were in that game without Steph Curry. Like, props to you. But, like, there's got to be a better way to go about trying to win games than to play every guy on your roster 17 minutes. I don't get it.
He's a complete hypocrite. Hear me out. Do you remember when Jason Tatum sat 2 games in the Olympics, which is one of the worst coaching decisions, one of the most disrespectful things a coach has ever done to a badass superstar ball player I've ever seen in any sport? I'm still pissed about it. I know Jason Tatum is still pissed about it, and Boston wants a piece of Steve Kerr about it. Okay. When Steve Kerr was asked about that, and his rationale was, guys, it's hard to play more than 10 guys.
Yeah.
See where I'm going with this? Okay.
Absolutely.
And so he didn't play Halliburton, and he didn't play Jason Tatum in the 2 Serbia games. And he cited, guys, I can only play 10 guys. Okay. But now with Golden State, he's literally playing 12 guys. Dude, you can't have it both ways. Steve Kerr, we're smart out here. We pay attention. We have a running scoreboard of the bullshit that you're putting out here. Okay. We know you're running and hiding from the scrutiny and criticism with the Tatum thing. And you hit us with that bull crap. And now you're playing 12 guys. You're doing the exact opposite of what you said with Team USA. It's a joke, dude.
I mean, yeah, it is. Pat Spencer's like the ball boy coming in and playing.
Like Stetson Bennett of Georgia, right? The walk-on. The greatest walk-on in college football history, by the way.
Did Pat Spencer just show up at the gym one day and Steve Kerr was like, oh, man, this guy can hit a 3. Hey, man, get this guy a uniform. Yeah. Hey, what numbers are left? Oh, coach, we got 61. Give it to him. Let's go. Run him out there.
Dude, that's a hockey number. Like the San Jose Sharks are like Golden State. They're like Sanford, the Bay Area's team, right? So 61 wasn't taken on the San Jose Sharks. So they gave it to Pat Spencer. And then
you might be getting a number 61 Spencer jersey for Christmas.
Yeah, give me an Alpi Şengün. If you're gonna buy me a jersey, give me an Alpi Şengün, bro. Give me an Evan Mobley. I think I actually kind of need an Evan Mobley because, Doc, like I'm rocking the old school KG tonight, but dude, I'm down here in Florida. Like I go on walks. I'm at the beach. Like I don't wear T-shirts. I wear basketball jerseys everywhere I go. And I go to this sports bar called the Guilty Sea. It's right down on the water. It's absolutely fantastic, dude. And this dude behind the bar always makes a comment when I wear a Wemby jersey. He's like, dude, you're the only guy in the state of Florida that owns a Victor Wembanyama jersey. And I go, you're right. You're right. I am. Doc, I don't really feel like there's it's a big football state, right? And I'm in Tampa, so there's all these nerdy Rays fans. I hate the Rays because I hate the way they run their team, right? It's all low-dough and analytics, and it's like, go get some heavy bats, please. I hate the way they run their team. But these people down here love the Tampa Bay Rays. They love the Lightning. They love the Buccaneers. And we don't have a basketball team down here. Remember the Raptors were down here for a year, right? And I don't think that really like captured the heart of Tampa Bay. I don't think they glommed onto the Toronto Raptors that year, Doc. So your boy's fighting an uphill battle down here in FLA as a hoophead, man.
You said that you will never mess with parlays. Is that rule hold true for Thanksgiving Day football when there's like three football games? You don't throw a little 3-game football parlay out there just to see if you can make some magic happen?
I tell you what, Doc, I need to get an account with the Hard Rock because we now have legalized sports betting in Florida, but you can't go through FanDuel and you can't go through DraftKings. You've got to go through the Hard Rock Casino. And I haven't done that yet. I do want to do that. Honestly, I see where you're saying, okay, like for the fun of it, it's Thanksgiving. Nobody's working. I'm home watching all these games. Screw it. Let's do a parlay. Yeah. For issues, I don't want to like say the S word again. I think I've already said it once or twice. I've met my quota here. But yeah, for bleeps and giggles, yeah, I might do a parlay on like Christmas Day or on Thanksgiving Day. You got me there, Doc.
All right.
I just don't think it's not a sustainable winning model day in and day out and day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? That's my point.
I think I've played a football parlay for the last 20 Thanksgivings, and I don't remember hitting one of them.
It's a sucker bet, man.
And I'll do it again. I'm doing it again in 8 hours.
Maybe tomorrow's the day, dude. Maybe come on. Maybe this is the one. Come on, big winner.
Maybe I should go all in.
Baby need a new pair of shoes, Doc. Let's go. Let's get this, man. It does feel like you win the lottery, though. And I'll tell you, Doc. I'm retired from DraftKings daily fantasy. I'm retired. I did the daily fantasy thing for a while, and I suck at it. I'm just going to tell you all right now. You got to realize your strengths and your weaknesses. I suck at it, Doc. I nailed. It was a Monday Night Football game. It was Steelers and Bengals. It was back when James Conner was with the Steelers. Okay, that's I don't know 5 years ago, something like that, right? Nailed it. Boom, 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 boom. I had the stars that went off. I had the little guys that went off, and I won the pool. I won like $900. I did not win another DraftKings ticket. Like I might have won like a $5 and a $15 and a $7 and a $25 Loto stuff, right? I did not get another big bang ever. I went from 900 to like 235. Okay. Just bloop, 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 bloop. And I exited. I took my money out. I'm like, this is just not fun anymore. I don't like DFS. Because, Doc, I don't like it's hard to mathematically fit a team that you feel good about with the salary constraints. And you pay 10 or 15 bucks and you're in a league with 378,969 people. How the F am I supposed to win against 300,000 people? The odds are astronomical. So it's just a lottery ticket. I'm not a DraftKings guy. I'm not a daily fantasy guy. Are you a daily fantasy guy?
Not in that sense, but my oldest fantasy league, my version of League Freak, we stopped the league. Like nobody plays in the league anymore, but there's 5 of us who play FanDuel every night for $2. And there's a different winner every night. None of us are great at it.
Right.
But it's fun because we set a new lineup every day. It's like you have a new fantasy draft every day, and it's $2 and it's fun. So we just do that for fun.
I would do that. Invite me to that. I would do that. Like that. Right. That would be enough daily fantasy for me. But it's just like the showdown captain mode. I'm just over it, Doc. I did it a million times, and I feel like you're pissing in the wind. I really do. I just feel like it's more game than
algorithms. It's bots. It's not just some dude going in there and setting a lineup and winning.
I just feel like it's a donation to planet Earth every time I put money on a DraftKings ticket. I feel like that's a donation to somebody else, man. And then, dude, if you hit right, 17 other people have the same lineup you are, so you have to split like that big take home, right? I'm just not into it, man. I'm not into it.
I feel you.
I'm not into it. Andre Lemouche says Steve Kerr started small because he said he didn't want to pair Draymond and TJD without Steph Curry, but Kerr said his gut would be to move back to the big starting lineup with Kuminga back to the bench when Curry returns. Andre, thanks for that. Again, this is some Steve Kerr thinking that we're dumb out here. Like he's putting lipstick on a pig. He's going poof, and it's a smoke screen. Like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. I understand why you minimized CJD to 4 minutes. Oh yeah, I'll just buy that and move forward. I'm not freaking buying that. It's a stupid ass rotation decision by the man who has the worst rotation in fantasy basketball. That's what's going on here.
Dude, I love the fact that when somebody messes with our like main team that we love, we get really mad and we like it comes out in the show. You're like, I've got TJD in 30 deep. I think, do you?
Yes. He's in my lineup.
And
I'm taking else this week. Brewski's kicking my ass.
4 minutes
deep this week.
4 minutes. You're like, this is unacceptable. I hope your team freaking loses every game the rest of the year.
I am officially I am not a fan of any team. I'm neutral. I'm not a Wolves fan anymore. this is for my boy KG, old school style, hardwood classics. Okay. Come on. I got jerseys. I love wearing jerseys. Brewski's 6'3"ing me right now. Okay. I'm upside down, Doc. Mike Passador is 6'2"ing me right now. And I go to the standings. I go to the power rankings. I'm second. Okay. In 30 deep. Feeling good about this. But I'm taking L's this week, man. And Steve Kerr, dude, he's messing with my mojo and he's effing with my money, bro. I'm not cool with this.
I hear you, dude.
And he's hitting us with this. He's hitting us with it. He didn't want to pair Draymond and TJD. Give me a break.
But that's okay. Pat Spencer and Draymond seem to work well together.
Pat Spencer was more relevant tonight than my guy TJD. Doc, this was a free Monte moment right here. This really felt like shades of 20 years ago in the fantasy flat, talking about Don Nelson's treatment of Monte Ellis when I had the free Monte sign.
Do you remember when Monte Ellis fell off his moped and got hurt?
I do. I was worried because remember the Jay Williams thing had us all like kind of shook with that motorized vehicle accident thing.
I was in the car with my boys in Tennessee on a golf trip. And somehow I found out that Monte Ellis had fallen off a moped and gotten hurt. And I was like, guys, I hate to do this, but I got to run back to the unit and post the Monte Ellis blurb before we go to the golf course. So I made him stop the car and wait for me. And I ran back to our hotel, our condo, and I posted a Monte Ellis blurb. Got back in the car and we were like barely on time for our tea time.
Wow, you made the tea time? That's impressive.
Yeah, well, we were early.
Monte Ellis, man. You young bucks, you're like, who's Monte Ellis? Do yourself a favor. You're going to be very entertained by Monte Ellis highlights. All right. You can go to basketballreference.com, look at the back of the basketball card. But first, look at the highlights. This guy could soar, and he levitated. You know how like John Morant jumps and he like stays in the air and goes like this? Monte Ellis used to be able to do that. Fabulous athlete, big time scorer, slasher coming downhill, big time like Russell Westbrook, like all over everybody jams. He was one of my favorite dudes, man, and a big topic of conversation back in the old days on the fantasy show on NBA TV. Doc, we're out of time, dude. You got anything else for the people here before we dip out? Hey, happy Thanksgiving. It is officially Thanksgiving, Doc. It is 1:17 a.m. Eastern time, man. It's Turkey Day. Gobble, gobble.
You too, brother. My voice is coming back. I'm thankful for that. I'm still alive. I'm thankful for that.
So are we.
Thankful for my doctors. Thankful for everybody for putting up with my hoarseness. But the voice is coming back, man. I woke up on Sunday and it was sort of like it's sort of there. I think we're on our way back. And what I'm not thankful for is Steve Kerr's rotation.
I'm thankful for your health, brother. I love you like family because you are family. And Doc has dealt with a significant health issue. I don't want to say anything more than that because of maybe a possible HIPAA violation, and I don't want to be in violation with HIPAA. Okay, all right. But Doc is, like you said, he's alive and he's kicking ass, and his voice is coming back, and we're all just so grateful for that, man. Shout out to my boy Eric Fenton with NBA Radio, Doc, and I'm not with them anymore, but he had a significant health issue as well that was life-threatening, and we were all praying for him and very nervous. But he beat it, Doc. Okay, and like he's thriving right now, and everything's going great. And so you're following that same road, and I'm very happy for both of you. And I go back way longer with you than I do this other buddy of mine, Doc. So I love you, brother. And this is it. We're back on Monday. We're not on tomorrow night. There's no games. So yeah. Anything you want to tout? Any articles coming up, or are you on with Brew on Friday afternoon or something like that?
Brew and I at 12:30 p.m. in Eastern Time afternoon on day after Thanksgiving. I'm also thankful for Sports Ethos, Aaron Brewski, and Andre Lamouche. Like those guys. Guys are helping us keep the dream alive, bro. And I love it. Thankful for it. And it's awesome.
I echo all of those sentiments, man. So happy and blessed to be here on Sports Ethos, continuing to give you all the fantasy goodies on this great platform. And we're trying to billow it, okay? So tell your friends, give us likes, give us 5-star ratings, retweet our stuff on X, and spread the word, man, because we're building something pretty kick-ass right here, and we need you to help us with word of mouth and getting the word out. And we'll do our thing over here, helping you guys out. Again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in a normal week. We are on at about 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. So we are out, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of messages before we dip. Catch us live on YouTube before each show, okay, for Q&A. So about 11:30, we start with the Q&A, and then we go into the rest of the show. But don't miss any updates. Subscribe to Sports Ethos YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you are enjoying the content, because we certainly enjoy having you guys and girls along for the ride. So for Andre Lamouche, for the great Dr. Ray, I am Rick Kamla. Today's episode was presented by Bet Online. Happy Thanksgiving, basketball world. We'll see you soon.